Welcome back, everybody, to the Fandalorian Club here on Apocaflix Movies as we dive into the Clone Wars as we have the last 9 weeks. We are now on episode 10 titled The Phantom Apprentice. I almost wanted to say The Phantom Menace for a second, but I got it out correctly because it is a very close call. I'm your host, Jake Flynn. As I go by on the Padawan podcast, you can call me Qui-Gon Jake. And I am joined today by the regular crew. I have Mr. Brian Avlicino and Mr. Jacob Barley. How you gentlemen doing?
What is up? Doing well.
Doing good.
Ready to talk
we don't get our Star Wars names?
Well, yeah, sure. Grand Avlicino and Obi-Wan Jacoby. Yeah, you guys can say it yourself. Obi-Wan Jacoby here. Or, no? Not just me.
If you don't say it, he's not going to say hello there.
No, I remember.
He already said
it's only for Padawan.
I know.
Exactly.
I'm kidding.
Hey, what kind of burr you got there, Mr. Bartley?
I am sipping on some Tecate.
Oh my God.
Poor man's Mexican beer.
I was hoping you were going to throw out Coors or something. Jake would just lose it.
No, I actually have been drinking Tecate a lot lately because I've gotten tired. Nothing to do with the virus, but I actually hate Corona beers. Like I think they taste disgusting. I always have said that. And I've drank Modelo a lot, and I started to get tired of Modelo. So Tecates are very affordable, and they're kind of refreshing.
Did you put salt in it?
No, I didn't. I just poured it up real quick.
That's the way to go. Or tahini.
It's probably good though. But Pacifico's the better one.
Yes. All right, enough of the beer talk. Let's get into some Star Wars, gentlemen. Episode 10 of Clone Wars Season 7, The Phantom Apprentice. This is the second episode of the Siege of Mandalore arc, the third to last episode of the entire series. And it was following what we can say the best episode of the season. So it not only had a lot to live up to for that sense, but it was the showdown between Maul and Ahsoka that we've been waiting for. That was the highlight. That was the match of the night. That was the heavyweight battle, if you will, that the episode was going for. And just right off the bat, it lived up to it and then some. I'm sure we'll get into it. I mean, I'm happy to get right into that opening up just because it's the biggest thing that happened in the episode. But quickly, without going into too much detail before our conversation, what did you guys think of the episode? Brian, why don't you start first?
These 4 episodes are as lifelike as a cartoon or animation I feel like can ever get, almost. Like, these things, it literally feels like you're watching a live action movie at this point, the way things are being done. And I'll save it for when we obviously talk about it, but those fight scenes are just incredible. So,
Jacob?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. The action is incredible, and it's kind of weird. The battles are kind of going on in the background, but it feels very large scale. I really enjoyed this episode. I think I still like the last one a little bit more, but this episode was still, these are the 2 best episodes of the season by far, in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely echo both of your sentiments there. Let's just get into it, boys, because it's a thing that we're going to be leading to, and it'll probably, any word that we say is probably going to directly lead into it anyway. Maul and Ahsoka, right? This is it's funny because you watch this episode and you think to yourself as you're watching it and you're kind of hearing them, the dialogue go back and forth, you forget that they've actually never faced each other before this, that they have never come face to face before this exact moment, which is so weird because of their relationship in Rebels and the relationship Maul has with Obi-Wan. So it's a little bit shocking there, but we saw it in the trailer all those months ago, year and a half ago, whatever it was, at Celebration, right? It's what it finished with. Everything that we've seen to this point has focused directly on this moment, and it crushed it. It absolutely crushed it. To what Brian said, how the animation looks is ridiculous. Like, it is stunning in a way that I have never seen animation before. And a lot of that might have to do with how they motion captured Maul, how freaking real he looked fighting, and how his moves were.
It's crazy.
It was like scary how real he looked, because we've seen Maul fight in the past, obviously in Clone Wars, but this was such a different type of fighting compared to what we've seen in him because it was real. Like, it was directly Ray Park with the saber in his hand fighting that way, and it totally shows. I mean, the way that they up the ante with the choreography, not just on Maul's side, but Ahsoka's side too. I don't know if you guys caught it or not, but did you see her flip her saber in the middle of the fight?
Yeah.
She flipped it, but she caught it in midair.
Yeah.
Which is like nothing we've ever seen from these characters before. The lightsaber.
She was doing some crazy stuff with her sabers.
And it just, the whole thing, like if you clipped it all together, it's incredible. But the way that they just, and how they like moved and where they shifted from the room to the high rise and everything, it all just made sense. And so I could not be happier with how it ended up.
I would say this to me is the most realistic Ahsoka's fighting has been, just because it wasn't. I mean, we know she fights like very fast, like it almost is like it's like constant like movement. This one, like you definitely got like a real fight between the two of them, like the way like they were jumping at each other and how she was doing certain things. It was incredible to watch because it was so real. Like it legitimately looked like it was a real live action fight. Like there was nothing about it that made you think like, oh, that's like, that was kind of cheesy. Like you could totally see this type of fighting in a live action movie. It was incredible. And I mean, credit goes to Ray Park and what was her name? The most Lauren Mary Kim was her name. They did an incredible job as these two in the fighting that we saw.
Did they motion capture Ahsoka too?
Yeah. The name I just said.
Okay, I was gonna say, how would they just motion capture Maul and not
just fighting a ghost?
Fight, which that makes sense. No, it was great, and to me, I honestly enjoy their dialogue more than the action between them, because it was a battle of of sabers, but also a battle of of words, and they were just debating and going back and forth, and I was really intrigued during certain moments of the dialogue, and then which led up to the action. I didn't think they were going to fight for a moment there at the end, and they did. So it was very intense, and to me, the best action is when there's also like there's stakes. There's high stakes, and they were fighting about something, not just randomly fighting for no reason. So that's what made it so great.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think outside of the actual physical part of it, I think I may have even been talking to myself during the episode while I was talking. The dialogue, it just seems like they knew everything to do in this episode perfectly. Everything was said, the right point at the right time. And everything going on as far as like what the reveals were, with Maul knowing what he knows and what he would say to Ahsoka at certain points. We can touch on that for sure too. It shocks me that they took it to this level. And it worked out so well in the show's favor because it added a certain level to the character of Maul that we haven't had before, and we've seen so much of him already. And just everything going on in the entire episode, like even before they were fighting, their conversation when the show first opened, I was like, it just felt different. It just felt different, and it literally felt like you were watching a movie. Just the way that the show opened, right? The logo, and it goes right into where we left off. It just felt like we were watching a movie, and I was in awe the entire time.
Yeah, the dialogue is definitely on par. It's above par. It's amazing. I love the like quibs that he throws to, like when he says, "You've got the arrogance of Kenobi," like because it's so true. Like she's got so many of these traits from Anakin and Obi-Wan, and it shows in her everyday lifestyle. And it's funny because I had to remind myself multiple times, this is the first time they've really met and stuff, because he at one point was like, Tano, is it? Like, he wasn't even sure of her last name. So, I mean, I think the thing that killed me the most was how he was just throwing realistic things that we know are going to happen. We know.
Well, he was right.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, throwing these things that were going to happen, and she's just, nope, that's never going to happen. Anakin would never do that. And I'm just sitting there like, crap. Like, she's so loyal to him, and then just knowing, obviously us knowing what's going to happen. And it almost kind of like broke my heart while I was watching it, just knowing that this character is so invested in Anakin, and she's his best friend, so on, or he's her best friend, and then it's just gonna all go to hell in the next episode.
Jacob, do you have any thoughts on that before we move on?
Yeah, I just, that's what I was thinking too. It's like, wow, even though obviously they wrote this stuff after Revenge of the Sith, way after, but just for the characters, Maul knew exactly what was right. And I was thinking about it. If he actually did, if his plan worked out and he did kill Anakin, he would have prevented the galaxy from a lot of terror throughout the next 30 years, which is crazy. Or if him and Ahsoka went and took out Sidious, which who knows if they could have on their own, but that would have been cool to see. I thought they were going to do it for a second. But yeah, I love what all of that meant. And for me, my favorite thing about this episode, or these last two, is that it is coinciding with the Revenge of the Sith. Like, that is my favorite thing about this. And I want somebody to cut these 4 episodes into Revenge of the Sith and make one big movie. I want somebody to do that so I can watch it, because, like, if you think about this, Ahsoka was around. Like, she was literally doing this while it was going on, and that is just so cool. And Maul, Ahsoka and Maul, probably, like, look, Maul was popular from Phantom Menace, but the Clone Wars elevated him to another level. So Ahsoka and Maul, probably the 2 most popular things to come out of Clone Wars. These characters that we all love were around during this era is so awesome.
Yeah, it's not just that, but it's not that they're just like letting us know like, oh, this is taking place during there, but we literally hear, oh, Anakin just cut Dooku's head off.
Exactly.
Like,
they were involved in the story.
I'm on my way to Utapau right now. Like, Anakin, and here's the thing, like the scene that they were talking about, like, oh, the council has asked Anakin to spy on the Chancellor.
Yep.
That's the scene where he's essentially told, you're good, but we're not ranking you master. And that's where the downfall of Anakin Skywalker comes from. And like, you're including this in these episodes, not just by like mentioning it, but you're actually including the characters like Obi-Wan and bringing him in to do that. You think about it, he goes to a scene with Anakin, then he does this hologram with Ahsoka, and then he goes off to Utapau. It's like,
yeah,
the storytelling is off the charts. It's off the charts.
I think this arc that we're watching is so greatly elevated by waiting the amount of time it did and not doing it so close to when this movie is, because Filoni has had 10 years to sit on this and just maybe write something, throw it in the trash can, do it again. It's literally like perfect. The 10 years has benefited it, and you can see how closely it is mirroring, I guess, following that timeline of that movie. I mean, I don't know if you heard or saw on Twitter, and I went back and checked. I hope I'm not stealing your thunder if someone has this, but right when Maul starts fighting, literally the second he lunges at Ahsoka, and I went back and looked, and you can hear it. You can hear Sidious's scream for when he attacks Mace Windu.
Really?
Yes.
I thought you were gonna say you hear the score, the
No.
Duel of the Fates score.
No. So I when I saw it on Twitter, I was like, no, that's not. The second he lunges at Ahsoka, after lighting his lightsaber, you can hear the Sidious scream when he does the spin to attack and kill the Jedi in Mace Windu's fight. So to me, that fight is happening when that whole thing is about to go down.
That would I will hold off on that for a second because the next episode is when they find out about Order 66.
I think that happens a little bit later.
Yeah, I will hold off until next week just to be sure, but the next episode is essentially they feel Order 66 happen. So and it would feel unless it takes place like directly when she gets on the ship after she got on this ship in this episode, I will hold off until next week. That could very well be true, and that would be a great ad.
You're talking about at the end of the episode when they're fighting, Brian?
Yeah, literally the motion capture main
you're
fight.
Talking about when they first start fighting, correct?
You can hear it. It's right when he does his double-sided lightsaber, and then she lights hers, and he goes for her. You can hear Sidious's that weird scream that he does when he starts spinning and kills.
It's very possible. I just feel like because Obi-Wan, I feel like she leaves from the hologram conversation with Obi-Wan and then she meets up with Bo-Katan and then they meet up with Maul, right? Pretty shortly after that. Who knows though? Who knows? It could be.
Well, that fight is the very last part. They've already talked to Obi-Wan.
No, but
who knows how much
what he's saying is they talked to Obi-Wan and then they went up to the throne or the king room, I guess you can call it, and that's where Maul was sitting. I believe those are the events that take place. Who knows how much time
could pass? They could have went and taken a nap for 2 hours, and then who knows? Yeah. We don't know.
True. That's very
true. It's possible.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past Filoni or whoever did it because we saw what happened last week with the opening of Revenge of the Sith and Ahsoka dropping down on Mandalore. Obviously very similar there, so I would not put it, especially it being Maul and Ahsoka, and then Sidious having such a presence in the episode. I would not put it past him at all to do that.
You're doubting me. Go listen to it.
I'm not doubting you. Look,
go listen to it.
I am not doubting you. It could very well be in there, but what I'm saying is that the next episode, literally the synopsis says Order 66 has happened, and so the timeline doesn't fit for me just yet. That's why. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. We'll see.
Does anybody else?
I personally, if I were to guess, I would say that's way later after it, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. So,
okay. Does anybody else want to bring up anything else that happened in the episode?
Well, if we want to talk about them capturing Maul, I mean,
yeah, the end battle, the way
that's big because we know where these characters go after this whole thing. So Maul is going to escape again from them. So
I think there's a good reason as to why he escapes, though. I mean, like he said, the Jedi are going to be no longer in existence at that point.
He full on revealed Sidious's plan.
Oh yeah, he was a spoiler. He was a spoiler walking.
Do you think the clones are going to let him get away though? If maybe they're programmed to kill him as well.
But we don't know the details of what they're programmed to do. But from what I understand, they're programmed to kill Jedi, Maul.
They can't distinguish a difference because remember they went after the Inquisitors in that in the comic book. I forget which one it was.
No, they weren't Inquisitors at the time, though. They were Temple Guards.
No, during the comic book, in one of the comic books, when they were on Mon Cala, that Jedi with the two horns did whatever he said, Order 66, and they started attacking The three
Oh, but
Inquisitors.
he was a Jedi before that, I think. But I think, but I don't know. They're not. I think they're not just going to leave Maul alone. Like here, Maul, you can leave now. I think we're going to see Darth Maul fighting some Order 66 clone.
They're going to have to fight their way out. So is Ahsoka, and however Rex is involved, because we know Rex is involved in an escape as well. The three of them, not together,
are
but
Maul
separately.
and Ahsoka going to work together to get out of there?
I think they are.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a
they
survival
kind
mode,
of teased, they kind of teased it when she, in the beginning of the episode, when she's like, "All right, I'll help you." So she's open to it.
If it's survival mode, I wouldn't put it past them. It's going to be very interesting though, because we're going to essentially see a backdoor into how the clones go through this, not from Commander Cody with Obi-Wan or, anything like that. It's going to be a full-on like clones just essentially just turn, like their mind is wiped and they're a completely different thing, and we're going to see it from a different perspective, which is awesome, which is something we've been talking about for weeks and months now. We're actually going to see Order 66 happen from a different perspective.
That's insane.
Oh wait, so when Maul sends off the syndicate leaders, was that Drayden Voss?
Yeah.
And yes, that's awesome. We got the young version of him, and
they even show,
but that's really cool.
What is the crime syndicate? They're all I can think of is the cover of Shadow of the Empire,
Black Sun or whatever. Are they?
Oh yeah, I think it was Black Sun, where it's the green guys that typically have like a black ponytail. I forget. They showed the Pikes, black. I'm assuming Black Sun, and then Crimson Dawn.
That's cool how he sends them off into hiding, so because he knows everything's about to go to crap, and so he says, "Hey, let's talk about hiding."
Let's talk about this to kind of wrap up the show, because we pretty much touch on everything. There's two things I want to talk about.
One thing. Did you guys think that Dryden Voss was gonna, or not? Excuse me, Bo-Katan was gonna die from the elevator part?
No.
No, that would have been a weak death.
Fair. I thought she might have actually bit it.
I think her death is going to be a much bigger deal if she dies.
She's going to die, sadly, as much as it kills
me. I don't think she will.
Yeah, I think she's going to die at the hands of a clone.
Why would she die trying to help
in Order 66? I think that's that, or she dies by the hands of Gar Saxon.
Yeah, he was an ass in this one.
He's a badass dude. As much as I hate that guy, he is a badass.
Maul ditched them though, dude.
Yep, he sure did. That's a classic Maul move, though.
He turned his back on them. They rescued him. I guess you could never trust Darth Maul. You can never trust him.
Yeah, the only person Maul cares about is himself. And maybe, well, I wouldn't say he cares about him. He cares about killing him.
That's a love, right? That's love right there. That's like Joker and Batman. They're destined.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
but he also hates Sidious too. Like,
yes. Well, after this episode, you can tell. You can tell for sure. Real quick though. So the two things I wanted to mention. One, let's talk about how Darth Maul had a vision, right? Or not Darth, but Maul had a vision of what's going to happen. He knows everything that's going to happen. The dark side's stronger. He knows Sidious is going to happen. He knows Skywalker is going to be the apprentice. Like all these details. But two, and this is a quick one. He did the Kylo move. He dug in the memories of a character.
I was thinking that too.
That's awesome. I saw that. I was like, is he really about to do the Kylo move right now? And it was really cool to see, because it almost had that same sound too, where it's like the whoop, like the kind of like almost like a mind thing happening. But yeah, the vision thing's a little bit more of a conversation, but I wanted to touch on the Kylo move because it was a cool little nod to Mr. Wren.
Yeah, and he went after an old clone too.
Yeah, Jesse.
Which I thought was interesting, because for a while I was kind of like, did he pick that because maybe they don't have the inhibitor chips, or like? But I mean, they've been around the longest.
Mind, like
the capacity to do it. Yeah.
I just figured maybe because they had been around longer, so maybe they're more privy to
more information in his head. Yeah.
So yeah.
What would you guys think about the vision?
He knows everything. He literally nailed everything. Like, I don't know how much of it Sidious told him. See, one thing is, I can't imagine Sidious ever like being like, all right, here's my whole plan. We're gonna do this, and this is gonna happen, and this is how I'm gonna be in power. Like, Sidious is never gonna just pull the classic bad guy move and just tell his whole entire plan.
Maul said it. Maul said that he kept him out of the dark. He said that he didn't tell me.
Yeah, so I would like to go back and rewatch and hear what he said to what he visioned, because that kind of got muddled for me a little bit. But these Force visions that people keep having are huge. Who was it that had? Someone else had a big Force vision, but that might have been comics. I don't know.
No,
but
yeah, Kylo Ren had it in his comic.
Was it Kylo Ren that had it?
Yeah, he had a Force vision in his comic. Yeah, that was the most recent one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them. Rey saw herself on the Sith throne, and
Anakin
Luke
had one in the Clone Wars. He had one.
Oh, I was thinking of Qui-Gon. Sorry, that's
and then Anakin had one in the Mortis arc on Clone Wars 2. So they've happened before for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting because Maul. It's so awesome from where it blows my mind from where he's started to where he is right now.
So I had a quick conversation with someone after I watched the episode, and I told them, I said, this episode solidified that Maul is officially one of the greatest characters that Star Wars has ever had.
Oh, easily.
He is, not just because of how cool he is or his double-sided lightsaber, but he is so crucial to the storytelling of this entire saga.
Absolutely.
And the addition of knowing Sidious's plan, being one of two people who know the plan, that it adds levels to him that he didn't have before, and you didn't think that could happen. He is by far one of the greatest characters to ever grace us in Star Wars.
Oh,
period.
Yeah. And he's so intelligent and calculated, and I love the way Sam Witwer does his voice. I love the way when he sent the old clone back, he's like, "Go with your brothers." I love that line. It was so good, and yeah, the vision is huge because he basically had a plan to bring Obi-Wan and Anakin in and try to kill Anakin. But good luck with that. Anakin by himself would have destroyed Darth Maul.
Well, because Ahsoka even said it.
Wait,
Darth Maul was rusty.
Yeah.
Did he want?
Episode.
Yeah. So Brian, he told Ahsoka while they were fighting, he said, "I created this war to bring Obi-Wan and Skywalker here so I could kill Skywalker." That's what he said.
I missed that part.
Oh, really? That was his whole plan.
That's the whole idea behind the Mandalorian stuff.
I will say one negative thing. I had a really hard time hearing Maul. Like,
really?
I don't know if it. No, I had TV up pretty freaking loud. His voice, it was very low for me. So it could have just been me.
But I understood what he was saying.
I think that's the point with him. I
do too, but like for me, it was like almost kind of hard to hear him.
It's kind of like he's mumbling a little bit.
I'm definitely gonna go back and rewatch it just because there's so many things I clearly missed.
So it happened. It happened right before he told Ahsoka that Skywalker was going to become Sidious's apprentice. It happened like directly before that moment.
Okay, see, I didn't catch that he wanted to kill.
Yeah.
Anakin.
Oh yeah, that was his. So he said the whole idea behind the Mandalorian stuff was to get Skywalker there. And so he's known for a while.
He said so he could take away Sidious's prize.
Exactly.
Okay, so I understood that in my mind, I heard that part. I took it as if he had Anakin away at that moment that this was going down, it would have changed everything. I didn't.
No, he was going to straight murder him. He's going to straight murder.
All right, fair enough.
But he wouldn't have. If Obi-Wan and Anakin were there together,
even Ahsoka said.
There's no chance. Like Ahsoka was able to defeat him.
Ahsoka beat him with one lightsaber and then no lightsabers. Anakin would have absolutely destroyed him.
Well, she even said during the fight, like, "You're lucky that he's not here because he would have killed you."
I love the way he fights, man.
Darth Maul wants to die.
I love the way he fights.
Too.
Jesus.
So
he wants to die, but he wants to make sure his stuff.
Like, he's going to take care of his plan, but he was like, no, just let me die rather than capture me.
Well, yeah, because it's for him. It's
He's
whenever
tired
he's
of being
captured.
yeah.
Well, I feel like with him, whenever he's captured, he has to start everything all over again, and that's kind of
Yeah.
like
Do you,
a
do you
bane
think there's
to
a
him.
chance that if they captured Darth, if they captured Maul, right? They take him back to the Jedi Council on Coruscant. What if like when Anakin goes to the Jedi Temple to kill the Jedi, he runs into Darth Maul somehow? Like, I
You
think
think that
would be
he's
crazy.
gonna make he's not?
I don't think they'll
Maul's
make it.
not
to
gonna
Coruscant,
make it.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't think
even
they'll make it to Coruscant.
I don't even think they're gonna get off Mandalore.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, we really don't know. Like, if you look at not saying that this would be the same way, but is there a synopsis for the last episode already?
The 12th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can find it real quick. Hold on. Go ahead. And keep
12th
talking, I'll
or
find it.
11th?
Yeah, because I keep making speculations without knowing that they already announced what the episodes are going to be.
They haven't given a synopsis for the very last one, have they?
I'm just curious, like, how does Darth Maul get from wherever they take him to leaving?
I think Crimson Dawn or someone's going to come grab some crime syndicate's going to grab him.
Yeah, he's probably just going to escape through all the chaos of Order 66, like Jake said. But I was just thinking, like, who knows how far they're going to go unless they already told us.
Here is episode 11 and episode 12.
We're not that far away from Anakin's turn.
So here's both of them. So episode 11, after capturing Maul and Mandalore, Ahsoka's journey to the Jedi Council is disrupted when Order 66 is declared, turning her world upside down.
Okay,
episode
so they're
12,
like on the way there.
Episode 12 is Ahsoka and Rex must use their wit and skills to survive the turbulent end of the Clone Wars.
Okay. So yeah, they're probably not even going to make it there.
And from the synopsis, I mean, it could be different, but from the synopsis, it doesn't sound like Maul is with him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Should be good.
Oh, true, yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Well, any final thoughts on the episode 10 of Clone Wars today before we get out of here?
I can't wait to watch.
I loved it.
Yeah. I can't wait to watch all 4 of these straight through.
Yep.
I think that's the thing that I keep repeating in my head is I cannot wait to like watch this just as one long movie episode because it's just going to be epic because the way they're cutting it is literally just the last scene where the last one ends. Like they should honestly just make this one long at the very end of it.
I bet you at some point they will release it as like almost like a movie.
I hope they do.
I was going to say, if this finishes as strong as these two have been, I'm considering it like when I tell someone to watch the Star Wars movies, you have to watch these 4 episodes.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't
100%.
know, after Revenge of the Sith, I guess, is when you would watch it, or in between, pause Revenge of the Sith real quick, watch an episode. I don't know. It would have to be after.
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. That's an interesting call.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Cool. All right, gentlemen. Well, there it is. The Fandalorian Club for this week, episode 10 of the Clone Wars. And we are very psyched about it, honestly. Just 2 more left. So make sure you guys join us every single Saturday morning right here on Apocaflix Movies. We are covering the Clone Wars, and we only have 2 left, and it's going to be a very eerie 2 episodes. So, again, for Mr. Obi-Wan Jacoby, Grant Almosino, and Qui-Gon Jake, this is the Fandalorian Club. Make sure you guys check us out, not just on YouTube, but also audio podcasts, so Anchor, Apple, or Spotify. If you like this video, give us that thumbs up. Also, leave some thoughts down below in the comments, whether you like it or not. Thoughts on the episode. We'd love to hear from you guys. And make sure you guys hit us up on Twitter and Instagram as well. So, again, thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys next week, and may the Force be with you.